Well, hello there, and welcome to another edition of Johnny Davis Live. We're here on this November 21st, 2024. It is that year, 2024, right? Boy, time is moving right along. Thanks so much for being on today. We have a great show for you. Where we're going to be talking with a couple of the contenders coming up for our IKF Winter Classic. We call it a Winter Classic, but ultimately it is a fight night. It's going to be a great fight night. Man, Anthony Bowie has done a great job in putting together some fantastic title fights for Muay Thai, for Wu Muay Thai, unified rules, and freestyle kickboxing. So it's going to be a lot of fun. As you see on the screen there, we're going to be talking with Mr. Isaiah Lawson. We'll be speaking with Mr. Deuce Carter, Mr. Isaiah Mudderman, and my other gentleman there that I lost his name right there, but his name is different from the rest. I have Mike Tyson on my screen. That's not Mike Tyson, on my screen. But anyway, we're going to be chatting with him in just a moment. I need to get back to that name. But thank you guys for joining us once again. And all of this as a part of the program for IKF and what we try to do and getting you guys to know who these fighters are and what they're about. My whole idea is not so much about fighting. It is about fighting, but it's also about getting to know the people a little bit better, what they like, what they don't like, what they eat. And now you see our superhero on the screen there as well. We're going to chat with him and everything. That is what all of this is about. And this is why we do what we do. So we hope that you guys will enjoy chatting with these guys. Listen, December 7th is the day. Well, we're going to have a fight night, an incredible fight night at Harris Cherokee Casino. You can see in the background. We're calling it a super fight night because there's going to be some super fights. Now, we also have the Winter Classic tournament going on where people are actually registering for that. So what we're going to do, we're going to combine that into one evening. I mean, fights will probably start around 4 or 5 o'clock. All right, we're going to run it all through the evening. It's going to might be a little intermission in there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So you can still register for the event. There's still time for you to get registered right now on the IKFFightPlatform.com. Just get registered, men, women, and juniors. Again, we're not expecting the East Coast Classic or the Fall Classic size tournament. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a great, entertaining fight night that I think that you guys will enjoy. Lights, food, music, a DJ, and all of that's going to be right there for you. Also, in the day, we're going to have our PKB. So if you got fighters who are not quite ready for that ring, you want to come and get some good semi-contact sparring again, invite them to come out as well on December 7th for the IKF PKB, which you can get registered on the platform at IKFFightPlatform.com. All right, guys, I'm going to get the conversation moving right along here. These gentlemen have been waiting for a moment there. First, I'm going to put up about the event because that's what we're going to be talking about. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring up our first guest, Mr. Isaiah Lawson. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
All right, good. Thanks for being on today. I just want to, chat with you a little bit, kind of find out where your head is. Who
Yep.
are you? Tell me
Yes.
first of all, I'm going to start a little basic here. Where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Clarksville, Tennessee, but I moved to Roanoke, Virginia about 8 years ago.
8 years. Okay. And
Yep.
Who's your trainer right now?
Frankie Vincent at Coastal Muay Thai.
Okay. Now, how
Yep.
long have you been doing this thing, man?
About year and 6 months.
A year and 6 months. So,
Yes, sir.
did you do some PKBs? I always like to ask that question.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you did a couple of those. So you kind of like just jumped right in then and, said, hey, I want to do this. And now you're ready for the ring. You feel like you're actually ready for the ring?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, tell me what's giving you that confidence to feel that you're ready to step it up like that?
I feel as though my nutrition has improved a lot in maintaining my weight, and as well as the PKBs. Those helped a lot with just developing my skill and preparing me for that ring.
Tell me a little bit about you. You said you were raised in Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
What was it like growing up in Tennessee for you?
It was actually pretty peaceful, good people, good energy.
Good
Not
people, good energy. Tell me a little bit about your environment, about your community.
It was really really calm and reserved, and
Calm
Yeah.
and reserved. Okay, so you didn't grow up in the same neighborhood that I grew up in.
Well, I don't think I did.
It was calm and reserved. That wasn't quite my neighborhood. I mean, listen, man. Now I got to pull some stuff out of you. First of all, you have some great teeth. You have great teeth, and people will pay money for those teeth, man. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I just thought I would say that. I mean, that's great. Speaking of your teeth, do you ever think about the fact that you might could get your teeth knocked out in fighting?
Can't say that I do.
You can't. Yeah, the mouthpiece, I guess, is important. But really,
Oh
what
yeah.
attracted you to fighting?
What's that?
What attracted you to fighting?
I think just media and exposure. I used to watch a lot of street beefs and street fights on YouTube, and then I dug deeper and found boxing, MMA, Muay Thai, and it just kind of went from there.
Was there a reason that it called you though? Was there like maybe like were you the skinny kid in school that was getting bullied or something like that? I mean, did something call you to fighting? Everybody has a story. I have a bully story, right? Right. When I was coming
Yeah.
up and I was getting picked on, and I said, I'm gonna learn how to fight so nobody can beat me up, right? Did such thing happen to you?
It was more so I didn't really enjoy football or basketball, and I gotta find something. So
Right.
I went to the boxing gym one day and fell in love ever since.
Now you didn't enjoy football and basketball and stuff because you weren't that good at it, or are you a small guy? I mean, what's your size?
I'm pretty tall. I'm 6 foot and lean, but
Okay.
I just never found those sports interesting.
Right. So I got to dig a little bit deeper. That's what I'm saying. There's fighting because there is another mentality when it comes to fighting, right?
Oh yeah.
It ain't basketball. It's not,
Hmm.
those are team sports, right?
Right.
I'm trying to dig a little bit on you, Isaiah. What is it that attracted you to fighting? There's something deeper there. I know my story, right? But what
Hmm.
is yours? There's something that made you want to punch and kick people in the face, Isaiah.
I think it was just like you said, the mentality the mentality you gain from like just grinding the sport out and just constantly going at it.
Independently. And that
Mhm.
let me help you out there a little bit. Perhaps was it more about it was about you? Because listen, there's a level of selfishness in fighting, right?
Yeah.
That you have to give up some of your, a lot of stuff. Have you found yourself having to give up some of your friends or and things that maybe they were out there doing things that you didn't necessarily like? And you said, hey, you know what, guys, I can't hang with that. So now I need to do something different. You got any stories like that?
Um, I did used to hang around not the best crowd, but as I started training more, I found more discipline, and I
Mm.
started picking up on certain things that they were doing that I didn't want to include myself in, and just
What,
bettering
what,
myself.
what helped guide you to make that kind of decision? Was it your parents or was it just a feeling?
A mix of both, honestly. Just as you get more discipline, you just see those things, those bad habits in people, and yeah.
So now that you are a fighter, what about you that you would say stands out and makes you different?
Just the discipline and keeping training simple. A lot of people try to overcomplicate it and add on top of it, and I just feel as though it's,
What do you mean by that?
I guess, not as structured. They try to overcomplicate, like let's say a simple drill, like footwork drills. Like they would try to incorporate things from other sports, like the little ladder drills.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like it just comes down to putting those reps in and just doing that over and over instead of trying to.
So I think I hear what you're saying, and I actually have a tendency to agree with you.
Right.
That they add a lot of extra stuff in there
Yeah.
that might help them in another sport, as
Hmm.
opposed to focusing on the details of fighting.
Right.
And let me tell you something. In my opinion, you are 100% right. Because one of the things that I've learned that I said I have the psychology of a marathon runner. right? A marathon runner doesn't run 26.2 miles every day. What they
Mhm.
do is they might run fast, they run up a hill, they run slow, they run a little distance, they might run 5 miles, 3 miles, 2 miles, 4 miles. But at the end of that period of training, they put 1,000 miles on that one body, and then they then put all of that into the marathon. So
Yep.
that same concept for me is in fighting, that you break down every single scenario in the fight game, every single scenario, put it in a round, and then by the time the fight gets there, you've gotten all these rounds of doing that one thing, right? There's multiple, but that one thing, and the reflexes are there, the timing is there, the speed is there, and that could make you a world champion. So that is correct. I just kind of dig in a little bit more on what you meant by that. Tell me something in life that really makes you happy.
Besides fighting, probably cooking, because that adds another layer of nutrition during fight week when you're cutting weight. And a lot of people, they try to eat bland foods, and it just makes it, I feel like it makes it less enjoyable, you know?
Yeah. So cooking is a great thing because I like to cook too, believe it or not. Lucky for me, we don't hardly cook that much because we're on the road all the time. But I love to cook. What is your favorite dish?
Honestly, chicken and chicken and asparagus.
Now look,
Really
now
good
don't you get all stereotypical on this show. Talk
feed.
about chicken. You know we love some chicken. Don't be playing. Hey, don't be playing. Hey, don't be
Uh-uh.
playing. People talking about, oh, chicken. Why is it so chicken? No, I love chicken.
Tell them.
Hey, let's just keep it real. Let's keep it real. Tell me a little bit about what are your thoughts about fighting at Harris? I don't know if you've ever fought in a venue like this. What are your thoughts about that?
I've never been on a stage this big, at
Mm.
an event like this, and I think it's going to be awesome.
Oh, it will be awesome. There's
Oh
no
yeah.
no doubt about that. Do you know anything about your opponent? By the way, tell me a little about who's your opponent, what rule style are you fighting, and what are your thoughts?
My opponent's name is Jay Sean, I believe, and we're fighting full rules Muay Thai.
Jay
And
Sean, he's on this show today.
yep.
Oh, you get ready here. Oh, we gonna start something now. We get ready to start something now. So you're fighting full rule Muay Thai.
Yes, sir.
That's with elbows. What do you think about that rule style?
I'm excited because a lot of my PKBs were kickboxing, and don't get me wrong, I love kickboxing,
Oh,
but
sure.
I feel like Muay Thai is just another level. I think.
It definitely could be. It all depends on who the opponent is. All right, and stuff
Oh
like
yeah.
that. Why are you going to win this fight?
I just feel like just I've been practicing a lot, simulating the fight during pad rounds and shadow boxing, and working a lot of elbows and clinch work, opposed to just punches and kicks.
You seem like a really nice guy. Now, here's the question. Do you
Hmm.
think you have that eye of the tiger?
Hey, it speaks for itself, most definitely.
Why does it speak for itself?
I just feel like the ring is it's a different place in there, and that just the ring don't lie.
You're right. You're right. It's definitely for sure. Well, take a moment here as we close out, because I have several people on the show today, including your opponent, right?
Hmm.
To invite people to the show and let them know why that is important for them to support you in this event.
Um, because I'm gonna continue to grow and find more events, especially the IKF. Amazing
Oh,
promotion,
thank
and
you. Thank you
just
very much.
yes, sir. And it's blessed me in a lot of ways, and it's helped me gain so much experience, and I think it's going to be amazing for everybody.
Wow. Well, I tell you, everybody, I hope everybody comes out to check out Mr. Isaiah Lawson
Yes, sir.
on December 7th, where he's going to be fighting in a full rule Muay Thai fight. It's going to be on December 7th at Harris Cherokee Casino. You'll be able to check it out live at the Cherokee Ballroom there at the casino, or you can check it out on our pay-per-view at akplive.com. Mr. Isaiah Lawson, thank you so much for being on today,
Thanks for
sir.
having me, sir.
All right, we'll talk to you again soon. There you
All
have
right.
it here, Mr. Isaiah Lawson. There, I'm going to call him the guy with the nice teeth, right? He's going to be coming out trying to take off Mr. Jason's teeth. Is that right? Maybe. I don't know, but it's going to be a great fight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep the action moving right along here as we have our next guest who's waiting there. And he might be, I don't know if he's in another country now or whatever his case is, or maybe that might be just his style or whatever's going on. But this is a guy who I actually know. I know this guy. I've seen him for many, many years. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Deuce, the Knockout Carter. All right, there you go, man. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, good. Okay, let's just get it out the way, man. What's going on with the hair, man? What's up with the hair, man?
I have it pulled back. I just fought, so it's just pulled back.
So those dreads, those like dreadlocks?
Yeah, they're locks, but right now they're in braids and twists. So just so I can keep it on my face.
You've been wearing those for how long?
My locks since March of 2019.
March of I asked someone I think that was on the show not long ago about their hair. Mm-hmm. Is there a significance to why you wear your hair that way?
I guess definitely culture.
Other than for the ladies.
No, for sure. It's definitely culture, but really like I grew up like in the church, stuff like that. So reading Samson, that's kind of like where it comes from originally, yeah.
So that
and like as a kid, I always wanted to have longer hair.
Right. Yeah, me too, but I could never really grow it. Hey, back in the day, man, what was going on with me was I had the S curls. You're too young to know.
No, I know about the S curls.
Right.
I did the S
curl, man. I would comb that stuff back, and it would kind of be wavy and everything. And I used to have my thick mustache. For about 2 seconds, I thought I was handsome. And then until I went up to the wrong girl, she told me, no, you're not.
I feel that. No, because sometimes you use too much and it be slicked.
Oh, man. I used to try to go. And another thing, too, is that a lot of people don't know this. I used to braid hair, right? I used to braid all of my brother's hair. I know that sounds crazy. I know it does for a guy who punches people in the face, but I used to braid all of my brother's hair. So I'm in the hair.
I braided these together, so I feel.
Oh, yeah. No. It really looks good. Listen, Deuce, let's just call it what it is. It seems like you've been on somewhat of a mission with this fight thing. I remember you some years ago, little scrawny kid, coming up. I don't know how many years I've seen you around now, but it must be 5 or 6, maybe.
About to be 6 at 5.
Yeah. And I remember you started showing up at some PKBs. Really good. I said it then. I said, this kid is talented. I said, this kid is really talented. And I gave you your props even then, and probably some other words of wisdom. Knowing me, I can't remember. But I remember when we had an opportunity for a United States title, and it popped up. This guy we were bringing in. You're a confident dude. Let's just call it what it is.
For sure.
And you said, "Hey, man, I'll take that fight." But you had no fights. You had no fights. No,
man. Okay, you should have let me do it. If you don't have fights, like multiple fights over 18, then like you should really start at 0-0. Once you turn 18, you should start at 0-0. Or like gift you, like just tell like when you go pro boxing, right, they don't count your amateur record. You know what I mean? So it's like going from fighting 15-year-olds to fighting 25-year-olds is not the same.
Well, you're correct in that, but I will let me give you a little bit of why they should count. They don't count on your record as an adult, but they do count.
They count as ring time for sure.
Yeah, that experience does not go away, right? But there is a maturity level.
Like half a fight or like a third of a fight, because like getting punched by a 17-year-old is not the same. Like once you get into the pool and like now they're just pulling from size and fights, like it's different. It's not the same.
So I'm not gonna disagree. I'm not gonna disagree with you. There's certainly a difference in it. And I call it grown man strength for one.
Sure.
When you start fighting, you might have done very well at that. But I had to kind of follow the protocols and kind of do it the right way, not offering the titles to someone that had no legitimate fights, right? But I did say, hey man, go out there and get a record. I said, just go out there and build your record. I don't know what happened to you. You set it on fire, man. You went out there and started fighting everywhere and everything.
For sure. That's in my goal sheet. Yeah, you kind of ticked me off. That's in my goal sheet.
You said it again?
I said, that's in my goal sheet. Like we had talked, and I think I had 3 fights. and the guy had like 40 fights, but like 0 since they turned like 18. I'm like, this is not the same. And like I put him, I needed like 10 plus fights, and I went out and got it.
Right. Well, no, listen, and I'm glad it ticked you off. I'm glad, because listen, I'm a straight shooter. I tell people kind of like it is, but to try to make it in this business. But look at you now. You have been just beating people across the country. Give us a quick
world, technically.
Huh?
I said the world, technically.
The world, technically. Give me a quick little journey into what you've been doing.
We talked. What was that? Summer 2021. I fought like after that. I think I fought like 3 times. That like finishing off that year.
Right.
So I had like 6 fights that year, 2021, and then 2022. It was really like just trying to like grind. Like I had like 6 fights then, and once you kind of get like 6 to 10 is like a weird range.
Yeah.
Because like you have experience, but like the dudes that have 10 fights have been doing this for a while.
Right.
And like you either like take the time to like get really good and like hone in on the game, or you just take a bunch of fights and like that's when you start like having the draws, the losses.
Right.
So like once I got 6 fights, I think I took like 6 months off, and we just was in the gym every single day, like, and came back and we fought on Halloween for IKF.
Okay. Yeah, that weekend. I get it.
Yeah, and we fought. I think I fought
because
twice.
You hadn't really fought in IKF, and I think I would kept poking at you. You had done some PKB,
yeah.
And I kept, well, you ain't seen nothing till you come down to the East Coast Classic, something like that. I said.
Hey man, all I'm saying is I won both those fights, so like it's all the same.
You did. You actually did. And so you shut me up there for a moment. But I've never had any doubt in the fact that you were a talented fighter. I said it from day one, really. But you got to get out there and prove yourself for people to see it. And what we're trying to do is offer you that platform so more people can know how talented you are. Now, you got a tough opponent coming in, Jacob Gonzalez. Jacob is no joke, right? He fought on our last show and everything, and he comes in with a whole different demeanor. Smart kid. He knows exactly. He's fought some beasts, right? And have you had a chance to look him up and see what he's about?
Yeah, I saw like one fight on YouTube from like a year ago. But it's a fight, man. It's hands and feet. You only have 2 of them. You only have 2 legs, 2 arms. Like
right, for sure. Well, you just had a fight. Tell us a little bit about what happened in that fight.
I fought this past weekend for Southeast Striking.
Now tell the truth before you say anything else on that. Are you sore?
No. I got like a little bruised knuckle, but other than that,
yeah. How many did it go the distance?
Nah.
Tell me about it. How did it go? I really don't know.
We both just we went out throwing heavy hands, feeling each other out.
Right.
Then like kind of drew him into a brawl and threw a hard liver shot. Finished it in the first round.
In the first round.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me just let you know that, like I tell people all the time who come on this show, when we match up people who can beat you. That's the way we match. Everybody we match. Now you can prove us obviously different, right? But everybody we match on the show, we're bringing in somebody who we think that they can beat. And Anthony Bowie, when I tell him that's your mission. I don't want, I want somebody who can beat Deuce. And I say that for all of them. Right? Now we know that's a tough challenge, but Jacob, man, he's up for it. He's a tough opponent, and he's gonna come and bring his A game. I mean, no doubt about that. Listen, you have a little bit of charisma going on. Do you think that is something missing in the sport?
Missing? No, I just think like most of these guys aren't cool. Like they're just not like, they're just regular guys that fight.
It's regular, right? So what is it about you that make you stand out, make you different, other than wearing that shawl on the show?
I just got this, so like I had to throw it on. I had to put the fit together.
It looks good.
But thank you. But it's really actually re-ask that question. I don't remember.
Well, well, it was about your charisma. Do you think that for sure. Right that the sport needs more charisma?
Yeah. And like again, it's really just like, I think I grew up like pretty confident. I have older brothers. Like, I always had like I grew up in like a pretty like cool family. I'm not gonna lie.
What was cool about it?
Business owners, huh?
What was cool about it?
Business owners. We're from just outside of Philadelphia, so like growing up in the city. And then like I'm from the Northeast, bro. Like I grew up in hip hop. Like this is just kind of like who we are. And
Do
I
you
mean, I
rap?
just
Do you rap? You said hip hop. Do you rap, Deuce?
yeah. I make music occasionally whenever I can, for
I
sure.
don't know why I felt that. I don't know why I felt that. You kind of was into music. Maybe it's the flow of your voice or something like that. Uh,
Bet.
so does that mean you're getting ready to hit a rap for us?
Nah, that's not what that means.
Oh, that's. I was just wondering. I wasn't sure. As you were, what were you gonna say?
I just grew up playing like a lot of sports, so like playing sports it's all the same thing, man. Now it's just only one person. It's not like 11 or it's not like 5 or so. You just kind of get the chance to just be yourself. You know, I'm naturally small, bro. Like I'm 5'6". Walk around 132, fight at 125.
You speak about sports though. So being small in stature like that, did
Sure.
that prohibit you a little bit from doing certain school sports, and maybe why you were attracted to fighting?
Yeah, but I guess well, like fighting came after. Fighting, I turned 21 like a week before or a week after I started training.
Okay.
It was kind of like my 21st birthday present to myself.
Right.
But I ran track for a long time, for like 6 years. Went to college for it. Played basketball my whole life. Have older brothers. Played football for 6 years, 5 years.
Right.
So like playing sports, I mean, I'm small, bro. You gotta like when you walk in the room, like you're not giving the ball to me. But like this sport is kind of evenly matched, unless like you're one of the 6 foot like 132ers.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
It is weird.
But
do you think you have a little bit of a small man complex then? The fact that you try to be an overachiever?
Probably. But also I've grown to be more secure. Like I'm about to be 27, bro. I've been doing this for a little bit. I mean, I got a beautiful woman. Like I train at a really good gym. Like I'm around really good people. So I guess this is now just like kind of who I am. It's always who I wanted to be, I would say. Just kind of like finally got the chance to be myself, and now I'm here.
You feel like you're settling into yourself now?
For sure.
You know, a woman will do that, by the way. A good woman in your life will settle you down, you know, and I was lucky to get one early on, and she keeps my behind in line all the time, you know, and all the time. And I thought I was, you know, the guy at some point in my life, and she, you better get yourself together. So that is really important. What type of goals are you making for yourself, Deuce? I mean, you're, like I said, you're on a tear. I would love to see how this fight goes, obviously, and then if things work out, have you fight again, and then move you up to a national title and even a world title. I know you're fighting on, you know, with the WKA you just won. That was a WK event that you just won. I don't mind shouting them out, by the way. Everybody's just doing what they're doing, man. It's helping the sport, you know, and that's what it's all about, right? And but you know, what are your ultimate goals though in the, let's say, the next 3 years?
Going pro for sure. That's like one of my biggest goals.
What about going pro? What about going, because you know, in the climate, you got to be careful about going pro.
Everybody keeps saying that.
Yeah. Let me explain it. I will explain it to you as a promoter and a professional fighter myself. The climate has to be right. You got to make sure that when you go pro, that you have the right people in your corner and the right promotion who can pay you money and pay you the right kind of money, and you have the type of following.
I mean, but is that the IKF or is that like somewhere else?
That's anywhere. That is anywhere, right? Because you're not going to get in one championship just by, you know, just, oh, hey guys, I'm Deuce, I'm good. That's not the way it works. So they do pay money, but that's one of the few organizations that's paying, you know, decent money out there.
I mean,
but
we fighting for free,
huh?
We fighting for free,
we
or if not, we paying money.
Dude, Dude, I got
What's
to
the
give you some
difference?
Johnny Davis 101. No, sir. No, sir. We're not fighting for free because it is a dangerous sport, right? And you're putting your body on the line, you're putting your heart and your training and all that on the line. You deserve pay, and you deserve pay well. Let me tell you something. You hit a sore spot for me. That because I'm about the sport. I'm about growing the sport. You're not gonna get prostituted out there fighting free and for pennies. As far as I'm concerned, I need guys to make as much money as they can make.
I'm saying, as an amateur, we fighting for free. So what's the
Yes,
difference?
as an amateur. But what about when you go pro? That's what I'm saying. You got to make sure. Here's what I'm saying, Deuce. You got to make sure that the climate is right for you, that you built that climate correctly, that you have a following, that the promotion has the dollars to be able to pay you, right, what you deserve, and that they make money while they're doing it.
And my question is that the IKF?
Yes, I would like to think it is in many aspects. And the reason why, and thank you for asking that question, my goals are at least to do that. Even when I was in California and I was doing shows in California, I did all amateurs, but they were world champion amateur. I mean, we had huge fights, but we built these guys up. I always think about Ed Abasolo. Ed Abasolo, who now fights for one championship. Ed Abasolo was like you. Started out early. He had some smokers and everything like that under his belt. But when we started fighting, we moved him up pretty fast. Man, he has wars, but he was selling a crap load of tickets for us. I mean, this last fight for me, which when he actually lost his world title with us, right? He sold like $11,000, $12,000 in tickets. Just him. He was an amateur. He was an amateur. So there's got to be a build-up process in the right way. And that's why we do the show, posters, the flyers, and all these other things to help let people know who you are. And so by doing this for you even, it's going to help out other promoters when you fight on their shows. That's what it's all about, because our social media is starting to get a lot of hits, starting to get a lot of recognition. We have one ad out there running right now. I don't know if you've seen it. Yeah, 65,000 views on it. 65,000 on our ad. So that's just for the December event. Not that we're going to have 65,000 people there. That's not the point. But it's getting people are seeing, the eyes are on it. So we want to try to help give guys like you the notice and credit that you ultimately deserve. So in the next 3 years, what would you say your goal would be? You said going pro, but what about in respects to titles as an amateur?
I don't really know about that.
Okay.
Maybe
that's a conversation we should have.
Bet.
Right. Maybe that's a conversation we should have and everything, and then go from there. We're about building champions, making the next recognizable champions. We have, if everything continues to go well, we have 5 fights at Harris next year. Don Rogers has events over the West. So the events going on across the country, in fact, and everybody's eyeballing what we're doing. Believe that. They're checking it out. And I want to be not one championship, but I want to be 2. All right. I want to have fighters make good money and to get the recognition that they deserve in this sport, Muay Thai and kickboxing, whether it's whatever style of kickboxing, not so much important, but that's what I do. I'm a stand-up. I love boxing too, obviously. I'm a stand-up fighter. That's what I want, and that's what I want. I'm not in MMA. Those who are, that's fine, but I'm into stand-up fighting, and that is exactly what I want to try to build in the sport that I put my life in. I have sacrificed to try to make something for you guys. And now I think that we need to help you guys make some real good money so you can help take care of your families. And that is what I'm about, right? And I know that's important to you, and I know it's important to a lot of people. I'm going to give you final word, though, to shout out your team and why it's important for people to come out and check you out on December 7th at Harris Casino in Cherokee, North Carolina.
Bet. Well, it's always a thank you to Jeff Lee and Monstrosities, my strength and conditioning coach, Johnny, Road Combat Club, the whole tribe, Project Pantheon, my sponsor. But y'all know what I do, man. I fight hard. But come see it.
Right. Well, like I said, Deuce is one of the most confident people that I know and everything. Confidence don't necessarily win the fights, obviously. The skills actually win the fight, and the attitude that you have going in that ring that night. Before I close out, though, what did you think about the Mike Tyson fight? Mike Tyson sparring match, or the Mike Tyson exhibition, or whatever you want to call it.
I mean, Jake Paul's not that good of a boxer, and Mike Tyson's old. So, like,
do you think it was really the age?
Yeah, bro. I mean, he's like, No 60-year-old is gonna beat like any
That
25
is not
years
the
old.
truth.
Yo,
That is not the truth,
yo,
dudes. Now look, now there you
I'll
go,
have you
get me
fight.
on another subject.
I'll have you fight one of my guys. We'll see what happens.
Hey, look, don't you get me started.
We'll see what happens.
Who do you
It's
have?
going.
Who do
It's
you
going.
have? Oh God, my wife is gonna kill me. My
Exactly.
wife. Hey, I don't think you want to do that, but that's
You
okay.
and you and Isaac. You and
Huh?
Isaac. You and
Who?
Isaac Roosevelt.
Isaac who?
Roosevelt. You versus him.
I got to see who he is. I don't know. Listen, okay, fine. We'll have this conversation another time. I knew somebody was going to do that. I knew it because they see
Hey,
me. I am
you
62
baited
years
it.
old.
You
And
baited
buddy,
it.
if I have to redeem Mike Tyson, and don't get me started,
Yo,
dudes.
full rules Muay Thai.
What kind?
Full rules Muay Thai.
Dude, are you kidding me? I do it all anyway. You're not. You
Let's
ain't,
go.
listen. Okay,
Let's go.
I'm not saying I'm gonna do it, and the reason why is because I have a wife, right? And I'm telling she would kill me first of all.
I feel you.
But we're gonna have this conversation another time, and we might just close it off and not tell anybody. And I'm gonna go in there, and then you're gonna come out looking all funny, and you're gonna be like, "Oh my God, Mr. Davis is not the average 62-year-old."
He's a sucky boxer.
Who is?
Jake Paul. But
I agree.
so
No,
like
I agree. I just don't know what happened.
That was
Anyway,
gonna
dude,
happen.
I knew I probably should have put you last. I knew we were going to get into it, brother. Listen, I'm looking forward to seeing your fight on December 7th. And I'll
Sure.
be sure to invite people to come out, man, to the show. I've been seeing you sharing the post, and I do appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
Sir. And we're going to certainly look forward to seeing what's next. All right?
For sure.
All right, Deuce. Thanks so much, brother. All right, Mr. Deuce Carter there. I'll be honest with you. I'm hard on Deuce. But I'm telling you right now, the reason why I'm hard on him because he's actually pretty good. He's a good fighter, and I would love to see him at the top heat. But he's got some tough fights coming up. As long as he's doing it for IKF, we're gonna definitely be giving him some tough fights. And as long as he can keep winning and moving up that ladder and everything like that, we were more than happy to keep moving him forward and everything. But ultimately, that is up to him. And I'm trying to see did Mr. Jason Harrell. I don't see him in my lobby. Deshaun, are you here? I don't think Deshaun made it on and everything just yet. So we have Mr. Mudderman. I'm going to chat with Mr. Mudderman and see what's going on with him. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up, Isaiah Mudderman. There you go, man. Isaiah, what is going on, sir?
Nothing much. Hanging out at work.
I am not going to play with you. I'm not going to play with you, sir. You got to tell me what is going on with this costume. I'm looking at in your office there. You're going to have to tell me what's going on, sir.
Okay, so if you saw all the costumes on my Facebook page, most of those are old. I've built way newer and way better stuff since then. That's all on my Instagram, and then my walls are just covered in like comic panels and posters and records and stuff.
Okay, let's go back. What is this? What is this thing about comics and comic books and superheroes?
I read a lot. But I read a lot of comics. I have a pretty vast collection of comic books downstairs. They have their own room. I've been doing that since I was a kid, so it's just gone on. And then I thought this would be cool to have a room like this, and so I have a room like this. But now when I do meetings and podcasts and Zoom calls and stuff, everybody can see this. It looks good.
Yeah, no, I get it. But you bring back a very touching time for me, to be honest with you. My brother, who's now deceased, was a comic book fanatic. And I'm talking 40-some years ago, right? He had comic books stacked on comic books, and he even had me reading a couple of them, Spider-Man, and all these, different, superheroes. I mean, it was pretty amazing. And he also, by the way, was an avid reader, right? He loved to read and all that. Do you think that comic books are not as, maybe I'm wrong, but they don't seem to be as popular as they used to be, right? Now, there might be a whole nother world out there. Maybe you can educate me.
I think the opposite is true. I think comics used to be kind of a niche subject. I came in at like the tail end of being picked on for reading comic books. So 40 years ago, I'm sure you saw some of that, but especially in particular communities, comic books are important and always have been important. But since like 2008, when the MCU introduced Iron Man, who was like a C-tier character at the time, people care about these characters now. So the reading has, I wouldn't say the reading of comic books has become any bigger necessarily, but it has maintained a pretty steady audience and has expanded people's interest in the medium overall. So superheroes and anime and stuff like that is way more important to people now than it was before, because it used to be a quick little thing, like a side thing, and now it's everybody knows.
Well, you used the word important. You used it several times. Why do you think it's important to be involved in comic books?
It's an art form, so like with any art form, there's a lot to be said about it and a lot to be said with it. So again, I came in at the tail end of it not being cool to read comics. So when I was growing up, I learned to read on a lot of comics, like real reading, like big words and big concepts and stuff, because those things are present in comics, and not necessarily like your average superhero fare guy with cape fights other guy with cape, but there's some real meaty stuff that you can get to. Some Alan Moore stuff is real dense, some stuff that people never go on to read, whether it's a comic book or not. And whether it's the writing you like or the art that you like, because those things both contribute, and they do it in such a way that's unique to this art form, it's to be appreciated. So it's important to preserve, I think, but it's important in that it's a good gateway into other kinds of literature. Like you can introduce young kids who like the bright colors and the superhero stuff to comic books, and they can grow up and graduate to more mature themes, either within the medium or outside of the medium, like when you get to novels or essays and short, things of that nature.
Were you pretty good in school?
I was smart.
That's a sore spot.
I was smart, but I was maybe too smart at the time, and I got bored, which gets you into trouble when you're in school. So I did read a lot, and I like to think I'm pretty intelligent, but I don't know that I don't know A's and B's, but I could have done better, I'm sure.
Right. Well, I'm just curious because reading normally kind of opens up, a whole nother idea for people and stuff. Do you think it's somewhat of an escape as well? And if so, why are so many people trying to escape reality?
Personally, I do not view comic books or that medium as a form of escapism. Media is usually not in a form of escapism, just because the kinds of things that are produced, that are written and drawn, are a product of the time. So things are, for the most part, inherently political in a way, just because it's a reaction to what's going on currently, whether that's something awful or terrible or just something great, and it's influencing what you're writing at the time. So nothing exists in a vacuum. So I wouldn't say that it's, I would say that it's not a form of escapism for most people if you're reading into it correctly, if you understand what you're reading.
Right. So I'm just trying to really dig down into that a little bit. We'll talk about the fight here in just a moment. But I'm trying to dig down. When you're reading in comic books, is it something that's captivating you that you're attracted to in these certain individuals, or you wishing that perhaps you had some of those skills or abilities, or whatever the case? Is there something else that's grabbing you other than just the read? There's got to be something tantalizing there that's captivating you.
I think there's an element of power fantasy in comic books and superhero media for a certain demographic or a certain age group, but that is not me. I'm beyond that, I think. What I like is, the art form. I like to see what artists and writers can do when they get together, what kind of pages they're putting together and what kind of stories they're telling. Because most of all, I am a storyteller. So that's what I'm interested in, is character studies and things like that. So when you get to, and that's the beauty of comics, is that it's not one book, one time, written by one person. It's multiple stories written by all kinds of people with all kinds of backgrounds. So their version of this person is what you're witnessing, and whatever story they're trying to convey to you is done with this medium. So that's what I'm interested in, is the character. and what a person thinks about a character. Someone like Batman, like what people's versions of Batman look like when they're different, because it's not, just a stock standard Batman. There are different ways to do it and ways to tell that story, ways you think about Batman. And you might write in reaction to people's versions of Batman, or you might write, your ideal Batman. It just kind of depends. But I'm interested in that. What kind of stories people have to tell.
Isaiah, this sounds like something more in depth here. I'm going to have to dig on you just a little bit. I'm just sorry. What do you do in real life?
In real life? I have a day job. I'm technically at it right now.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm asking. I'm asking, what do you do for your day job?
Oh, I work in sales. Which is,
okay. Because
yeah.
I thought you were getting ready to say you were an author or something, that you
were
actually...
No. I have so I did direct and write a couple of short films. Okay. So I am I'm on the in for a production company out of Texas. So I'm actually finishing up production on a Western. We're in post-production on a Western right now that I wrote a couple of years ago, and we finished over the last 2 years. And I've written some stuff here and there that's popped up. I went out to LA once to film a movie. That's my real claim to fame. I've made pitches to Netflix, stuff like that, but that's not the stuff that pays the bills or anything.
I get it. No, I get it. But I was feeling that. There's a little bit more to this guy and maybe you might not be quite in the correct field right now when you talk about sales. I'm just saying. I don't know that, because somebody might look at this and say, well, he's gonna quit. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm a guy that when I talk to people, I can read kind of like their potential, right? It sounds like there's something else there. But we're going to talk about punching and kicking people in the face. Okay, so really quick, I will transition here for a moment here. And because I had a couple more minutes since I don't see, Jason on. Jason might have got mad because I couldn't remember his name when he was coming on. I don't know if he on and left. I'm not sure. Okay, so I have also seen you around, have I not, at some PKBs?
Yes, coaching and competing.
Right. So who? Tell me about your gym, who you train with.
So I'm under Ed Stahl at Metrolina Martial Arts in Concord, North Carolina.
Okay.
We're like a little average Joe size gym. The whole gym's full of nerds, so I fit right in, as you can imagine. But it's a great place. It's a good environment. I think there's a lot of bravado in the combat sports space, but we have to remember that martial arts includes the art part. So you don't always need to be tough and getting punched in the face to be anything in this sport.
Well, okay. I think there is, and it's kind of been said, like when it came to like Muay Thai and kickboxing, because there's so many other tools, it does require a certain level of intellect, if you will, and introspect. You got to really kind of dive in perhaps a little bit more. I think there is something to that. Now, but do you think being nerdy, more of a bookworm, perhaps might give you a little bit of an advantage in this sport that requires 8 limbs?
I don't know. I don't know if it's the bookworm stuff, but I think, and this is not unique to me or to this sport. I think fighters are smarter than people give them credit for, because even a brawler, people consider like a dumb way to fight, but there's a strategy in that, and that's something that you build. That's something that you think about and you commit to. So it's not this guy is really smart and so he's really good. It's they're all smart. Just everyone's brain works differently, and the way you commit to the fight is different. So the way I use my weapons is indicative of the rest of me, like outside of the ring, but that's true for everyone.
Well, yeah, but perhaps so. I think that you definitely have, a point there. Tell me a little bit about who's your opponent coming up for December 7th, and what are your thoughts about that fight?
It's Ronnie Martinez. I think he's out of House of 8 Limbs, which is just across town. They're inescapable. They're at everything. I always see them. Yeah. But they're cool people. It's a good gym. I like everyone that I've met from there, mostly, so I'm looking forward to it. He's a big dude. I mean, we're the same size, but he's a big dude.
I think both of you guys will be big dudes.
Yeah, he's a big dude, so I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm interested to see. I don't really have any. I have nerves, obviously, but I don't really have any qualms or anything. I don't have any quarrels. I'm not really thinking about anything in particular. I just gotta. We're gonna see when we get there. You know.
Right. What rule style are you fighting in?
Oh, full Muay Thai.
Full Muay Thai. And now
Yep.
this is your first full contact fight, correct?
Yes.
Right. So you've done a lot of PKBs.
Yes. 12, I think.
Yeah. So do you think this has helped you and will help you in the real fight?
I do. It's not. It doesn't feel that different, like in terms of the lead up. I mean, it'll be different, I'm sure, when we get there, but it doesn't feel that different in terms of lead up. Like my nerves don't feel any different. So some of that stuff, if anything, has like a baseline that I can sort of, the ground has some tread on it. You know what I mean? So I get, it's not so out of left field for me that I can't think about anything or I can't deal with anything. But I'm sure it'll help, and the experience is nice. It's a good place to test your skills against people, especially because my gym doesn't have too many big people who are good. So it's nice to go to these events and have some large folk.
Can the bookworm, can the intellectual find that eye of the tiger?
Yes.
I say this. When he finds it, does he find it through some like a special, like they do, like they do in some of those comedy books, right? Do they summon somehow, some special power to come to give you that eye, or how are you gonna call on that thing?
Well, I guess I think of myself as some kind of intellectual, but I first and foremost am like a feeling person. There's like a spiritual aspect to the things I do. And then most of all, I'm an artist. So it's not really about, I'm not going in there to hurt this guy. It's a consequence of the thing I am trying to accomplish, which is to express my version of Muay Thai fully. So if there's someone in the way, that's one thing. But I say this thing all the time, that who you are in the ring is who you are outside of the ring. There's no switch that's flipped that turns you into a completely different person. I think some of that stuff can lay dormant in you in your regular life. And when you get in the ring, it becomes real, but it's always there. So I don't have to find anything. I think it's going to be there. It's just going to manifest itself in a way that people maybe haven't seen, but I know where it is.
It's so interesting when I talk to so many people all the time, but I swear to you guys, we have some very smart people out here. I mean, all of my guests today said something that's always very interesting. What you said is true to some degree. There is a switch, though. I will argue that point. There is a switch. You got to know when to click it on and when to turn it on and when to turn it off. Because like me, I'm a nice guy. And Deuce's guy, like I was telling Deuce earlier, he challenged me with somebody at his gym or whatever, right? There is a switch. And I promise you, there is a switch that I have that I can turn on anytime. It is me. I can click it and it's there. And it's a guy that probably most people wouldn't want to meet, you know what I mean, to be honest. And so I do think there is a switch, but I think controlling it is really, really important and everything. So I definitely think you're right. Take a moment here to shout out your gym again, some of the people that are essential and important to you, as well as why it's important for them to support you in this fight.
Well, my coach, Ed Stahl, my main training partner, who I think they're working on a match for him still right now, Malik. That dude is with me every second. We're in the gym like almost 24/7 year round. So I couldn't do any of this without him, and I don't think he could do any of this without me. So we're just two peas in a pod, flip sides of a coin. If anyone is interested in the costumes and stuff, that's on my Instagram. It's Lunchbox with 2 U's, which is usually what I go by anyway. It's just Lunchbox. I've gotten to train with some really cool people. I don't post a lot of combat like a ton of competitive footage, but there's all kinds of pictures with all kinds of cool athletes. Gabriel Varga. I went to Thailand. I trained with Sanchai for a bit, so that's on there. Lordzilla. There's all sorts of people. So I don't know, just cool stuff. And it's important to support
do you sell
the gym more than me. No.
Oh,
No, it's another art thing. So it's stuff that I build, and it's just cool to build and do and wear, and you go to stuff and you hang out in the costumes.
well, Isaiah, before I let you go though, I do want to ask you, why do people do this? Why do people put their hand up and say like they're telling you to shush? Well, what does that? I saw Jake Paul doing that. I see some other fighters doing that. Is it like, hey, I'm a big secret, or hey, I got something going on you don't know about. Don't tell nobody. I'm going to go in here and smash somebody. I'm going to go in here and beat this guy up. What does that mean when people do that? Educate this.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
So you just thought it was a cool pose?
Was I doing it?
That's you on the screen, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know if you can see it, but when you go back and look at this video, I have a picture of you in a black toboggan, right, with your hands up like this.
Oh no, I don't know. How old is that picture? I'm sure.
I don't. It's an old picture. I'm sure. But I like to mess with people like that sometimes. I had something for Deuce, but Deuce got away from me. I kind of ran out of time, but I had a picture of him when he was much younger and everything. But again, listen, I'm glad you came on the show today. It's nice to meet you again. I've seen you at some tournaments. Wishing you all the best and everything. Please invite people to come out to the show. I think it's going to be a different kind of experience for them. Lights and music and food and all of that. We're going to start hitting on that in the next week and all that. And any final words?
No, I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for having me on.
You got it, man. Isaiah Motherman, thanks so much for being on today. We'll talk to you soon. All right, guys, Isaiah's all pumped up. He's a big guy. He's actually a big guy, and I've got some skills, too. As best I can remember, he's going to be fighting at the IKF Winter Classic, we're calling it. It's a fight night, December 7th. All the fights are going to be on the 7th and everything. So I just want to remind everyone about all we have going on. Right now, registration is in the process, IKFFightPlatform.com. This is where you can go and register. You can see other fighters who are actually waiting on fights right now. You can go there and check out who's looking for a fight, and you can get in the tournament just by registering. Mr. Anthony Boo is certainly matching up some of the super fights and things like that as well. So his contact information is on the platform. Feel free to reach out to him if you have any particular questions or want to try to get on that card. It's all amateurs right now. We are planning on having some professional fights, obviously, down the road. And we want to be able to treat them right, making sure that they get what they deserve. But if you want to be a part of the IKF Winter Classic, please plan to sign up today because prices are going to keep going up, guys. As it gets closer, price is going to go a little bit higher. But right now, it's kind of low, in my opinion. So it's a great reason to come on. Championship belts, nice cups, nice medals and all of that. Lights, camera, food, a live DJ, and all of that fun stuff is going to be happening at Harrah's Cherokee Casino on December 7th. We're going to have weigh-ins and everything. It'll be on the 6th at some point. We'll put the times up there and all. But on the 7th is all the action. Remember, too, that we're going to have the IKF Point, Muay Thai, and Kickboxing Sparring Tournament Grand Slam. So if you got some people not quite ready for the full contact arena yet, come out for the PKB. It's all going to be in one ballroom, semi on one side, full contact. Semi is going to be in the morning. Full contact fights are going to be in the evening. It is a great reason to come to Harrah's Cherokee Casino on December 7th. A few weeks after you eat your turkey, then the following week, we're going to be there kicking and punching each other in the face. We really do hope that everybody will come out. Want to remind you as well that our IKF Fight platform is the place to go where you can register, you can see profiles, if you're looking for fighters or whatever the case might be. I'm not quite sure what happened to Mr. Jason Harrell. There he is right there. He's ready to rock and roll. Probably got tied up, but perhaps we will see him again really soon. If not, certainly we're going to see him on December 7th. Pretty talented guy, I do believe. I think I've seen him around, not 110% sure. But guys, listen, I just always am thankful for all the support and everything that all of you give us for the IKF. We are trying to change the game for the sport of Muay Thai and kickboxing across the country. Believe me, we have great promoters who are doing great work across. And this is where you can go and check out other events as well on the IKFFightPlatform.com. That is also in conjunction with BoxRec, who actually recognizes our program. They recognize our protocols, our suspensions, and things like that. Before I go to, I want to show you a couple of pictures. These are some of the belts and things, the PKB Grand Championship belts and medals that we give. Actually, we're going to give away quite a few belts on December 7th for the semi-contact. Obviously, the full contact, almost everybody's fighting for belts and big cups and things like that. So a great reason, again, to sign up. You know, it's probably the last fight, and I know it's the last IKF fight. I think there was another event in December, but it's the last IKF fight on the eastern seaboard. And again, a great reason to come out, test those skills before Christmas, heal up over Christmas, and then next year we're going to dive right back into it at the first of the year to try to make 2025 a great year. I'm looking forward to talking to others throughout the holiday season, right before matter of fact, on next Wednesday, we're going to be back with our show where we will have a special guest on to talk about that. Then we're going to take a little break for the holiday season. And again, guys, a lot going on coming up in 2025. I really do truly hope you guys will join us for the following year and on December 7th. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. Once again, thanks so much for watching another edition of Johnny Davis Live. Always real talk with real solutions. Always respect each other. This is Johnny Davis Live, and I'm checking out. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.